Attention gamers. I'd like everyone to meet
이것은 만들어졌습니다.
a Korean ladder challenger who got there in record time while getting reported by his own teammates almost every single game by playing Quinn support, sabotaging his own carry, depriving his own laners of gold, barely warding or providing vision, achieving full build in under 25 minutes almost every game while being able to hunt down any enemy anywhere on the map within seconds, while pulling off crazy mechanical outplays to hard carry every game. Leading in damage every single time, and today I did my research, traveled to the land, learned the language, laid with the indigenous women, and studied his every move so that I could replicate it myself and show you exactly how he has accomplished such an impressive rank while arguably griefing his teammates and getting reported in almost every single game, but as his own proverb states.
진정한 남자는 다른 사람의 도움에 의존하지 않습니다.
Translated to, a true man doesn't rely on the help of others. And speaking of being a true man, true men use Manscaped's brand new Performance Package 5.0 Ultra to keep their face, body and balls looking and smelling their best. Let's start with these two tubs on the right and assume that you are the proud owner of a sack, one with balls in it. But the smell of them leaves every mammal in the area disgusted and disappointed. Will these two suckers keep you feeling fresh, smelling amazing where the sun don't shine, and smoother down there than a pool ball? Then the main attraction, the Lawnmower 5.0, the latest and greatest in men's trimmers. As you can see, I'm a loyal customer who's schoolgirl shrieking at this upgrade. Then finally, for those of you with a nose, this is the best, upgraded 3.0 tool for keeping the back cave clear, not to mention it works in your ear holes and around your eyebrows. The whole package comes with the manliest man pouch on planet Earth and a pair of sleek boxers, so use code RAP15 with my link below to get 15% off of this all-in-one grooming kit today. Alright, so for runes, this Korean madman goes Hasanabi, then more burst on his dashes paired with two talents that make his nomadic team deathmatch playstyle effective. Then he gets inspired to get cashback Ace Rewards credit card along, and then if we're talking trades, he is a jack of all them. At the beginning of the game he said he gives no fucks because it's impossible to not benefit from his strategy. He said he knows more than likely he will have some half-brained dimwit of an ADC who, if they had a single intelligent thought, it would die of loneliness, so he doesn't let it bother him when that same ADC positions worse than Twitch security at TwitchCon. He is cool with it. If his lane gets behind, he says it's still not bad, as he will continue to push and pick fights, knowing that if his ADC feeds their literal dick off in lane, it just means they won't be worth any gold for when he soon abandons them for good. This is because ADC players are a whole different species of stupidity that even at the highest of ranks will spam ping supports, not understanding how support items work. He said he knows from playing this piss-ridden pit of a game for so long that it's rare for his ADC to suck ass and for his jungler to be good, so he fully expects both of them to have alcoholic mothers who chase their vodka with Red Bulls during pregnancy, but the goal is to get gold for himself, and that's all that matters. He said, and I quote, "You can't wait for these animals to get fed, they can't even use their hands to feed themselves." Maybe it is toxic, but when you look at the average solo queue player, it starts to make sense why he revolves his strategy around no one but himself, as he is willing to trade kills only if it means he gets the kill on his team. Then once he tames a wild Pidgeotto to carry his character around by her neck fat, he never returns bot, instead rushing Mobies and flying around to the easiest kill on the map. Sure, his ADC will be more alone than her very few functioning brain cells, but the trade-off is that he starts getting pressure all over the map. But here's where it gets even worse. You see, abandoning a lane completely may get kills, but this strategy typically makes you fall behind in XP, and that's where he looks for empty lanes to slurp up waves like a goddamn griefing vacuum cleaner, knowing a few of these solo is enough to get him a large level advantage over their support if she chooses to match his roam. It also keeps lanes pushed so that he can have more pressure to continues wandering around like a street hooker in Miami just looking for dudes in a position to get fucked. The strategy of finding picks continues, but then at this point in the game he says he knows enough about his teammates to know which ones will do good with gold and which ones it's a total waste on, and he steals waves accordingly, which pisses at least one person off every game. But he says he could give less than a half of a shit to be polite, as his mission is to single-handedly shut down everyone on the rift and carry himself to the win. Sure, his ADC will be behind in level from getting literally taxed by the support who left him alone to fend for himself, but while their support is trying to figure out how to play his strategy better than him, he swoops back in to tell Tumble Tits to take a hike. He purposely dilly-dallies on his way out of lane to be in range of the XP for any minions dying, but then it's immediately a little river trip onto the next one because some floating space aids distributor is looking like a snack. Seeing as he's all over the map, his team typically wins the objectives feat, but then he makes a point to get first tower as it makes his hyper-mobility strategy much more effective when he's faster than what Aston Hall pretends to be. At this point his ADC is typically like a wet fart, embarrassing, useless and in need of being cleaned up, but luckily even as a support in this strategy Quinn is designed to win 1v1s against other marksmen so he can swoop in for easy solo bolos. The fact that the AD support item has a Sheen/Season 12 Duskblade proc tied to it is like the peanut butter to Quinn's assassin jelly, which means the enemy jungler has to clear with one eye open. Then he continues to slyly be around when big waves are being cleared to continue capitalizing on taxing XP gains. Since Quinn's movement speed is like 700 when she is under the effects of the hard R, she can be at literally every objective while making sure any lanky Lucifer trying to add thief to his rap sheet gets punished immediately. Typically in higher elo you prioritize objectives and tempo, but he just looks for wherever an enemy is that he can kill easily and books flights on Valor Airlines, which typically is enough to turn balanced fights into outnumbered shitfests where enemies find themselves surprised by the trolling support who never seems to be by his ADC's side. Keep in mind he already knows his jungler typically thinks in black and white, so he just tries to even out some of the trades without going too reckless, as death timers this late in the game will keep him from leeching XP and gold from all the lanes this late in the game, so he backs out of fights and then only re-engages when he knows there's a safe kill on the map. He does typically use his warding support item more than I did here, but his main priority is leveraging oracles to make sure he can continue playing games of a surprise you a dead bitch without any floating space corgi breeder suspecting he's on his way. The crazy amounts of movement speed typically means he can position poorly and just loop around the landing zone until the air traffic controller says it's safe for landing right on this dead bitch's face before he denies mommy long legs of her wall vault escape plan, and yet another double is in the bag. This is followed by solo pushing lanes and applying pressure, which sometimes backfires, but he knows at this point it typically takes 2 or 3 of them at once to take him down, and at that point the cheap build path as a support means by around 22 minutes he achieves full build while his ADC literally hasn't even finished her second item. This means that PC from 2003 Nunu and any other jungler who thinks the forest is a safe place will be rudely informed otherwise, but it also means that the fact that minions give almost no gold to him at this point doesn't hurt him because he's like moist critical and already bought everything he needs. He doesn't need your Twitch donations as team fights are starting to look more one-sided than a Mobius strip. While his team is off drilling on each other to help lube up the useless circle jerk they have going on, he then focuses on taking as many objectives as he can. This sometimes gets him in trouble, but don't forget we are dealing with challenger level mind game mechanics here. So unsurprisingly, while his entire team is dead like they are supposed to be, he can continue popping in and out like the tip of a dick during intercourse to continue getting objectives. By this point in the game he typically has 3 to 4 levels on the enemy support, which means if you are measuring a gap or a diff it will be very apparent which one has been taxing the shit out of every resource on the rift, but then he's always on to the next one. The second someone shows on the map he is there to continue pushing his lead further and further. It's typically the enemy jungler that gets the short end of the shaft as they feel the peer pressure to keep clearing their camps, but that's unsafe territory when this griefer is on the enemy team. Once again you see his team is useless as all fuck, partially because he has deprived them of gold, but mainly because this is solo queue and that's just what you get when you play this godforsaken game, which is why he has evolved this strategy to rely on him and him alone, because he knows he's just better than these scrub daddies and his rank shows it. As global objectives spawn he makes a point to find the enemy jungler to make sure there's only one smite on the map, and then the Valor Uber gets called in so that he can ambush any little kids trying to cause drama around the barren pit. So with that you see how his games typically go, where close to every one of his teammates hates him by the end of the game for making them feel weaker, while every enemy clearly hates him from stomping all of them, and I guess the LP gains in this case are worth being the most hated player in every game. Rav out.